Hello everybody, this is Sue from StarCraft, and I'm bringing you a small guide today on how to deal with an early spawning pool from a zerg player. And this is a game I'm playing as the green Protoss, and my opponent is Zerum, but he's playing as random, so I have no idea what he spawned as, and that is something that a lot of random players have been taking advantage of in the recent past. As you can see, we are on Steps of War, a very short map, so hence it's a very easy map to pull off something like a 6 pool or something very cheesy that does early pressure. So what I like to do, I like to get an early scout out to find out what my opponent is, and I see he's Zerg. So secondly, I have to ask myself, what is he doing? Is he going to be throwing down the 6 pool? And I do see the spawning pool going on there, so I'm really immediately aware. So immediately I throw on my pylon, accidentally supply blocking myself just a little bit, but that's not a big deal. Important fact, using pylon to block a little bit off the ramp. Now blocking the ramp is extremely important when dealing with an early pool. In this game he didn't go 6 pool, he went 7 pool, which is just as good, but remember he had the advantage of me not even knowing he's Zerg. So in the case of I didn't wall off, I would be dead. So immediately as well I threw down a forge, and cannons are extremely important when dealing with 6 pool pressure. So you want to get a forge down as early as possible, as well as you want to block off your ramp completely if you can. I'm not going to be able to get a gateway out, I'm not going to be able to get zealots in time. As you can see, he already has that spawning pool, and he already has zerglings on the way. I'm turning on health bars now. Yeah, you can see health bars. So the zerglings are almost on the way, and my forge is just about finishing now. I have a little bit of minerals, and I decide I'm going to throw down a cannon instead of a gateway. I should be doing it now. Yeah, there you go, cannon instead of the gateway, because I need this cannon up as soon as possible, and I also need a gateway here to block this entrance as well. So he has no choice but to attack the buildings, and more than likely he's either going to go after this pylon or the forge. Now the pylon is somewhat protected in this narrow choke, so he's only going to be able to have 2 zerglings attacking. So instead he decides to go after the forge, which is not that much of a tanky building. As you can see, it's just 400 on the shields and the HP. And here comes the cannon, and the cannon's going to come up, and he immediately has to run out a cannon, 2 shots, zergling all the time. And while that's going on, I have a probe in the space, so I immediately know as well when the zerglings are coming and how many are coming. So that's something you want to do as well. Keep the zerg, keep the probe just around the hatchery, so you have an idea of when it's going to come out. And as you can see, I held it off pretty decently enough. Had a bit of a delayed gateway, but that's alright. He has just a bunch of zerglings. His economy, let's have a look at the income. His economy is suffering. He has 10 workers under my 16, so I'm well ahead as far as economy goes. I have a lot more minerals at my disposal. Just trading on a couple of pylons, cybernetics score. At this point I'm thinking, okay, let's gonna push him with a 4 gate and see if he handles that, because most likely he's not going to be able to handle it. He's not going to have enough stuff because he invested so much into this early harass, and as you can see, his harvesters are still way behind my harvesters as well. Coming up, I'm even using chrono boost on my harvesters because my cybercore is so late in this game. What I need to be doing is throwing up a couple more gateways, but that's alright. So here we go. Machine my is too busy. Good. He does a somewhat smart thing. He expands to the gold expansion, thinking that I might be teching. A lot of players like to do that. A lot of players like to tech up really quickly. Give the zerg a lot of pressure later on, but I decided not to do that. I decided to go 4 gates. So as you can see, I'm chrono boosting out the warp gate technology and throwing down a couple of gateways as well. No reason it's out yet. I wasn't expecting any sort of follow-up pressure from him. Some players usually might throw down a being nest and see how that works for them, but he decides not to do that. I'm not really worried that much about it. I could just throw up a couple more reinforcing buildings here if I need to. I could have just put these gateways up right in this area here and this area here, and I'll be fine. I'll just be totally walled off. Circular boosting going on. Let's speed this up just a little bit. He is saying now he'll lose because he hasn't seen me do anything yet. He is probably trying to distract me as well, and I'm telling him that that'll teach you 6 pool, but he is just distracting. He's using the gold minerals to catch back up to me, and as you can see, he's actually ahead of me on income right now, and that's going to allow him to catch back up in the game. And it is big trouble for me if I don't hit him fast. If I was caught teching and not expanding, that would hurt me so horribly, and I'd be in so much trouble. As you can see now, I have my 4 gates up, and this is about time I'm looking to push. Let's have a look at the army tab, and right now the army is even, and I'm killing my own pylon here because I need that proxy pylon out. And the one worker I had that died a long time ago by the Zelnaga watchtower, but that's alright, I'll live. And here I come. As you can see, my army income, my army food is so much higher, but it's higher than his now, just about 5, but I have 4 units charged up and ready to keep walking in, and here come 4 more units, so it's up now to 51 over 44, and he is up to 47, down to 46, he's building something. He decides to go with a Hydra then. I'm not sure if he saw, I don't think he saw the 4 gate, but Hydras are generally pretty good once the opponent doesn't get Colossus. And here I come now, I'm trying to get up a proxy gate and a proxy pylon, and there's my proxy pylon. He scouts this one, kills the probe, but then he's now lost all his zerglings, and he is in a lot of trouble here. 66 over 53, he's even supply locked because he lost in the blood there like a silly fool. And here come the pushing into his base. He's gonna have a couple of just popping up right now, but there's just so much cells just pump their way through our enemy base. And he's saying he thought I was going to high Templar, so he expanded, right? And he calls GG, he lost about it. What can you do? It's a lot of zealots. Look at this, 74 food. Have a look at the unit tab. I have 19 zealots, and not very much can stand up to that, especially when you have sentries walling off the faster units. So here come a couple of zealots now looking for extra expansion. I see his gold expansion, and here I come now gonna push in, and he's not gonna be able to do much about it. Guardian shield just in case he had a lot of Hydras. I didn't know how many Hydras he had. He ended up just having the one, and this is gonna spell GG for him. He's not gonna be able to stand up. He has nothing else, and he has left the game. So guys, that is how you hold off a 6-pool, and more particularly a random 6-pool, random zerg 6-pool. So in the future, keep that in mind. I have it written down somewhere here on a piece of paper. Okay, yeah. At 253, at 2 minutes 53 seconds, there comes the 7th pool, and yeah. So wow, something sounds wrong about that. 253 seconds, that's when 2 minutes 53 seconds, that's when the zerglings are going to be pumping at the front of your base, so you want to be prepared at that time. At 42 seconds, that's when the 6th pool usually goes down, so you want to scout out your opponent, and just around that time, just about 60 seconds will be fine, so you'll know if he's going some sort of early pool. Just prepare for it. Remember, get the forge up as soon as you can. If you don't have a forge, try to pull off workers, not all of your workers, but enough to block the ramp. Use hold position, and you could probably, if it's just a couple zerglings, then you could probably fight them off, but do not allow the zerglings to get into your base, otherwise pretty much you're fucked. Okay guys, hope this was helpful. Good luck holding off 6 pools. GG.